following is a presentation of Mountain Sports.
Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl is celebrating its 20th anniversary tonight, and what a matchup we have for you in game number 1. The Prestonsburg Blackcats and Pikeville Panthers each have outstanding football traditions, and tonight they collide to kick off their respective 2004 seasons. These two juggernauts of the mountains return the majority of their clubs from a year ago, and don't be surprised to see an example of smash-mouth football in its purest form. John DeRossett's Prestonsburg squad has aired it out the last couple of years, but they are a dual threat with running back Joe Blackburn and quarterback Trevor Compton pounding the football when they need it the most. Pikeville returns their entire backfield of Weston Robinson and Robert Shurtleff, who demonstrated just how awesome they can be as they led the Panthers to yet another regional championship appearance in 2003. They have not met in the Pike County Bowl since 1994 when the Blackcats won at the Horn. Don't be surprised to see this game go down to the wire also. It's the opening game of the 2004 Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl next.
This live broadcast of the Community Trust Bank WYMT TV Pike County Bowl is presented by Food City and sponsored by TCS, Economy Drug, Hilton Homes, Brad Hughes Toyota, Moak and Nunnery Attorneys at Law, Lane Brothers Ford Lincoln Mercury Honda, and Total Pharmacy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to a WYMT Sports Special. I'm Brian Milam, joined by Jim Frazier, and tonight we have the 20th anniversary of the Community Trust Bank WYMT Bowl. And Jim, 20 years in the making, and games tonight also.
Well, you know, the first game, Pikeville versus Prestonsburg, last evening, Freeman butterflies. Well, the butterflies red, but the butterflies of anticipation. We talked with both the coaches just a few minutes prior. They're ready to play.
Last night on WYMT, a Leslie County, a lot of over.
In November 2002, a devastating fire destroyed our dealership and a lot of memories. Now the smoke is cleared and Lane Brothers is back and eager to earn your business. Stop by and see the redesigned Honda Accord or the all-new Honda Pilot. If you want selection, we've got it at Lane Brothers in Iville. Hurry in while the selection and the deals are the only thing smoking. Lane Brothers Ford Lincoln Mercury Honda, halfway between Prestonsburg and Pikeville in Iville.
I'm loving it. Questions cause fear, but I'll face it. Answers so close, I can almost taste it.
McDonald's, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it.
McDonald's and WYMT would like to wish you a happy birthday. Go to WYMTnews.com and click on the McDonald's Birthday Club icon to sign up. We will announce your birthday on the morning show, and McDonald's will send you a gift on your special day. Sign up today for the McDonald's Birthday Club.
This vehicle can take you to places no other vehicle can. To strange worlds and even stranger life forms. To the silicon landscapes of tomorrow's supercomputers. This incredible vehicle can take you as far as your ability and imagination will allow. But only if you don't bail out. So stay in school. This message was brought to you by the United States Air Force.
You are looking live at Hillard Howard Field on the campus of Pikeville High School for the 20th anniversary. of the Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl. Thanks for joining us here. I'm Brian Milam, joined by Jim Frazier, and as you can see at midfield, they are getting ready for the introductions of the coin toss, and we are just about 45 seconds away from getting this ball game underway.
Boy, I tell you, big crowd on hand once again for the Pike County Bowl, and we always see some great action, and of course you see there some longtime rivals, Pikeville, Prestonsburg, and they've met many, many times throughout the years, and the fans waving, saying hello.
Well, the last time they met on this field in the Pike County Bowl was back in 1994, and Prestonsburg won at the buzzer on a very questionable touchdown by some standards. Depends on which side of the field you were on.
There you go.
Touchdown wins at 26-21, and as you see right now, the captains for Pikeville High School from left to right on your television screen, Brett Gibson, Robert Shirtliff, Jess Parrish, and number 20, is that number 20? Yes, number 20. Jesse Pierce is on the outside, and Josh Sullivan is number 68 for Prestonsburg. Across the way, Jesse Chafin, also Zach Lafferty, number 65, Trevor Compton, number 2, and on the outside, number 81 is John Mark Stevens. Both of these teams, Jim, return a lot of experience.
Well, they sure do, and of course, I think you're looking at the high expectations, and we'll sort of see here earlier in the year who's going to play with confidence, who's going to make those type of plays. Let's take a look at the. Let's take a.
Let's go. Let's take a look at the keys to the game for Pike. 1.
You've talked about the linebacking core. We'll be trying to in on. We don't want to try to do too many things early.
Well, as you saw there, be patient. That's one thing. Bring the D. Chris McNamee in the preseason really touted his linebacking.
Kind of what we saw with the Hazard Bulldogs last turnovers, give up some big offensive plays. Then you got
and we go number 22 for Prestonsburg. Seth kickoff is underway, and we are underway. And buying up Pikeville junior, and he is. And Robert Shirtliff and Holloway both kind of going for the football, and the Pikeville Panthers will start 1st and 10 from their own 30-yard line. The Pikeville starters, if we can, on offense. Well, we'll do that a little bit later then.
Of course, the Pike County Bowl, the playoff atmosphere, Brian, and in. Now,
but the Panthers have the ball deep in Peaburg territory. He now moved to the I formation as Parrish goes in motion. And it's the keeper up the middle, Robert Shirtliff. And he powers his way inside the 15-yard line, or near the 15-yard line. A pickup of close to 20, and his father right outside with a video camera. He's rolling it home. He's got it doubly nice.
Of course, his dad, former lineman at the University of Kentucky, and he saw us coming in here. He said, hey, you guys are a little late, aren't you? We got here a few moments before the kickoff.
First down at the 19 for the Panthers. I formation, Shirtliff at fullback, Robinson in the backfield. They give it to Shirtliff again on that inside trap there. Little quick hitter up, takes it down to the 10. So the
run, so they can sort of keep the defense. They're doing really give the punch on the offensive end, and believe right now that the line winning the battle.
Robinson straight up the middle, and boy, the Panthers are really hitting the hole. First down, but we've got some laundry on the field. Matt says personal foul. So emotions kind of running high on Peaburg, and some of the guys, the Black Cats, looking around saying, who was that on?
Boy, you know, last evening, Ken Fugit had a great shot of a similar situation down on the goal line with North Laurel. And, of course, we'll get official Matthew Young. He'll tell us.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit, number 41 defense. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
Wow, I tell you, I like the numbers being called out. Hicks.
You're at channel 57.
It is first and the Panthers ready to put their first points on the board, and it's Shirtliff. Powers his way, touchdown, Pikeville Panthers. And just like that, it doesn't take them long, and they're on the board.
Good blocking point of attack, and you see the fans, they've got something to cheer for now. Panther may get a little bit more excited.
That's their first Bolson. When they beat Campbellsville, you remember last year, the Saturday matinee ball games, the showcase games, Belfry and Pikeville both shut out. Here we've got the swinging gate extra point, and they snap it. And just like that, it's 8-0, and Pikeville feeling nice right now.
Well, I don't know if we've got the replay on that one, but you know, I've never really seen it happen that way before. And I mean, doing some different things, getting the kids energized with some fun.
We are going to take a break. 6:37 left. First quarter, and Pikeville strikes first. 8-0 Panthers, live from the Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl. We'll take a look at that replay from that touchdown in just a moment as the Panthers are kicking off, and Brian Elkins boots it back to the 2-yard line. Prestonsburg fields it and going nowhere. Around the 20, Tyler Carter with the tackle. So a decent return, but wow, Elkins let it fly.
He sure did, and the great kicking game. And the sun suddenly pops through.
And now we can't see anything in the boot. Yes.
Goes out for us, but that's not a problem. We've got Jim Freeman back there.
Now he hands off. That is to Joe, a guy that 2 weeks ago against Boone County in a scrimmage a little bit. A question. Gets a
just a junior. with the stop, and the Ross Pikeville Panthers, but a big gentleman.
Once again, the shotgun, and they hand Panthers.
Yeah.
Joe Blackburn, he picks up nice yardage, and that will bring up 3rd and short. Maybe about 3 as they lined up in the, and Blackburn burst through. So now Panthers.
Earlier, Blackburn only about 70. Like he had a pretty good.
Brings in backfield, 3rd and 3, and they give it to Hamilton, and he plows his way across the 30-yard line, and he will be out.
Decision time. Coach DeRossa. See Renton plays a lot of sports well. Pretty good fastball on.
Right, partner. You gotta know who throws the ball.
Yeah.
It's 4th and short, just past the team on the field, and it's a flag will be thrown. Was the punting on that one, and Robinson picks it up. He dances to the left side, tries to move his own men out of the way, and he's brought down. We will. Pikeville, half of their guys were on, half off, so we'll see what the call is.
I believe it's probably going to result in a Prestonsburg first down, but you talking there, Prestonsburg. And I believe you'll see Pikeville resulting in first down Prestonsburg. Let's get the officials to you. Of course, we mentioned the referee is Matthew Young, umpire Jason Seligman, line judge Chris Scott.
There are 2 penalties on the play. Illegal shift on the offense. They were not ever set. And illegal substitution on the defense. Those penalties offset. Double foul. Repeat. 4th down.
That is outstanding. And now Prestonsburg has no punter.
Yeah, it's a little bit. That's what Coach DeRossa talked about early. It's a little bit difficult.
And now, wow, Prestonsburg really out of sorts. Wes Hall scampers to the backfield to be the punter.
Prestonsburg just calls timeout.
And they just took a timeout. 4th and short at the 30. Let's take a quick break. We'll be back here in just a moment here. Howard Field on the campus of Pikeville High School. place there was grass.
Just difficult to do the Bermuda situation here, and they try your best, but with no rain.
Huffman in the shotgun, takes it himself, looks to pitch it out to Robinson. He has nowhere to run to on the short side of the field, and he is brought down by John Mark Stevens and also Brandon Peters. And now a flag, and this one may be on Prestonsburg. Pikeville kids clapping, and we may have unsportsmanlike conduct.
Sort of see here, Brian. We'll take a look, and I didn't figure they'd try and pass third down and long. You don't really want to give your young quarterback a chance to turn it over, and I don't believe that the flag occurs right here. There's something away. A good job there by Peters.
So if it
and
happens,
Stevens come over. So
if
let's
it happens
see.
that late, it's got to be
dead ball.
After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness.
Oh, it's on Pikeville.
Whoa.
And after the play was over, personal
Both
foul,
of them.
unnecessary roughness on a defense. Those penalties offset is fourth down.
Well, obviously, when you get a flag that late, it's going to be of that variety.
Well, we talked about these teams being longtime rivals, okay? And there's a few things going on, so I know both of these coaches want to get back to teams playing one another on a regular basis. Sometimes it's difficult, particularly with the large district that Pikeville has been forced to schedule with for a number of years. But these guys want to get back to playing on a regular basis.
Jesse Parrish, a nice punt down to the 15 or 17-yard line. Trevor Compton hands off, and around the left side, that was Kyle Ousley, but he had nowhere to go to. They switched to the wrong side of the field.
Boy, if Weston Robinson Jr. doesn't stay in his lane, that one could have worked for a big play. I like the idea by Coach DeRossett and his staff. They're really not getting a lot of things done in special teams. You've seen some of the problems, but he doesn't let that sort of take the package away. You know, hey, let's take a shot at it. And I think both these coaches try to do some things that are fun for the kids.
Sure. Pikeville now with receivers to the top of your screen as Schaefer in the shotgun with Blackburn protecting him. He's got pressure from behind, doesn't see it, feels the pressure, and it's intercepted near the 50-yard line by John Mayo. And look who is behind us in the booth.
I tell you, his father doing our spotting, making us sound good this evening, okay?
Wow.
And his boy comes up with the second, and you didn't hear a word out of him either. You know, it didn't bleed over or any of that kind of stuff. But
so John Mayo with the interception at his own 49-yard line, and I was waiting for Royce to come put it. Hey, it's that number, it's that kid. In the I formation, the Panthers with 3:17 left, and they give it to Shirtliff up the middle again. Big yardage for big number 40, and he rumbles his way across the 40-yard line. Major yards on the ground for the Panthers, and when they set up, they are just running all over Prestonsburg right now.
Certainly the offensive line blowing open the holes. You see first man through, and his dad has the movie cam rolling right in front of us, and it's going to be a highlight reel for that kid, I tell you.
1st and 10 from the 34. The Panthers now in the offset I. It's Compton, or check that, Robinson straight up the middle, both number 2s. Robinson for Pikeville and Compton for Prestonsburg. Pickup of maybe a yard. Last year, Robinson, even though Pikeville was shut out in this ball game, he was our WYMT player of the game. Also was the player of the game when they went over to Prestonsburg and played, I believe, in the Reno's Bowl. And was also the MVP of another bowl game that the Panthers played in.
We got the Mountain Sports Leader Bowl this year, don't we?
That's right.
Yeah.
Fumble on the snap. Huffman recovers. John Mark Stevens, check that, not John Mark Stevens, but Billy Hicks was in the backfield trying to recover the fumble. But it will be Panthers football still at the 32-yard line.
Like another one of my former students coming in there. I got a tatting, big number 75, Tyler Hamilton. We'll also try to stick his hat in there and come up with it. Boy, I love the instant replay aspect.
After the fumble, the ball back at the 36-yard line. Josh Sullivan kind of directing traffic on the line there just a moment ago. Huffman in the shotgun. He has to roll out, being pressured from behind, and a completion to Jesse Parrish. And somehow, Brandon Peters of Prestonsburg could not deflect the pass, and he's kicking himself right now because that was very, very easily an incomplete pass if he gets a hand in.
Yeah, sometimes you try to go for the interception and you don't make any contact, but you're looking now 4th down, about 5 to go. Certainly 4-down territory for the Panthers. Key play here for the Black Cats. Nothing really going right.
Last year, Derek Sword was quarterbacking the Panthers, and they spent every now and then they would be in the shotgun, but a lot of shotgun here in the first quarter. Huffman rolls out to the left, looking for Shirtliff, and that ball is nowhere close as the pressure came from Prestonsburg's Billy Hicks and also number 51, Wes Woods. So the defensive pressure forces the turnover on downs. So Prestonsburg will take control at their own 30-yard line.
You know, it seems like the first quarter not really going that fast. The sun popping through. You wonder, Prestonsburg has a fewer fellas playing both ways, Brian. What kind of effect that might have deep in the game.
With the halfback pass, down deep, and it's caught. First down, Prestonsburg, as they go to Kyle Ousley. And the irony in all this is, last year in the regional championship, Camp beat Pikeville on halfback pass after halfback pass. They obviously saw something either on Sports Overtime or in the film room.
Well, the Black Cat faithful here have something to cheer about and come to, despite the fact only playing it at about 70%, you're going to see him find the receiver. There's double coverage back there, Brian. I mean, there's some guys back there, but the ball perfectly between the 8 and the 0.
And a running play up into the line goes nowhere for the Black Cats. So David Mitchell, I don't know if you're watching after your big win last night, but they took a page out of your playbook. Less than a minute to play in this opening period. Pikeville 8, Prestonsburg nothing, but Prestonsburg driving.
Of course, that one play really basically the only success Prestonsburg's had this first quarter.
Now a handoff. No, Schaefer keeps it, and he will be brought behind the line by Parrish, but a flag on the play, and that ball nearly taken out of his hands by Casey Rowe, the defensive lineman there.
Had an illegal shift, and they'll talk it over with Pikeville. I guess once again, I'm going to say they'll probably decline. This would only be a 5-yard penalty. I believe you'll probably just go ahead and take the down. Not sure, though. Pretty deep here.
Long conversation between Matthew Young and Sullivan and Parrish.
Prestonsburg, of course, open.
Illegal motion on the offense. That penalty is declined. It's now 3rd down.
Prestonsburg open next week. And then we talk about the Mountain Sports leader, the Western Coal Bowl, Bell County coming into Prestonsburg.
3rd and long, 3rd and 10. Schaefer back to pass. Off to the left side to Jesse Chapin, and that will be incomplete. That will bring up 4th down, and you've got to figure 4-down territory. They're at the 23-yard line, so they ought to go for it here.
Yeah, heavy pressure by Robert Shirtliff, and we talked about fellas playing on both sides of the ball. Temperature really comfortable, some 70 degrees or so, and with the sunshine coming through, maybe make it a little bit more difficult on the Pikeville team.
4th and 10 from the 23, 22.6 seconds left, and once again in the shotgun formation. Schaefer back to pass, a heavy rush from Sullivan, and he will drop him at the 30-yard line. And as I said earlier, Rick Bentley thought that Sullivan, Josh Sullivan, the senior, was the best lineman in the mountains. Well, you just got a nice view of him right there.
Just difficult to handle one-on-one. You have to do some special things if you're blocking schemes. And that time, Sullivan able to find the quarterback. And we talk about those guys, though, going both ways, playing both offense and defense. Will that be a factor if Prestonsburg can hang around?
Huffman hands off to Robinson, stood up at the line, and there's calling for a fumble. Prestonsburg says they have it, and do they? No, Pikeville recovers, and that will be the end of the first period of play. Your score after 1, Pikeville 8, Prestonsburg nothing. We're back in just a moment at Pikeville High School. He says they'll be national champions. Who knows? Lou Holtz always giving his opponent a lot of credit, more than his own ball club. And as you see right now at midfield, members of the Community Trust Bank WYMT committee and those who make this such a special event.
Yeah, and we also want to pass along condolences. You know, we've got one of our Mountain Classic committee members, Mr. Virgil Osborne, his wife Ann, recently deceased, and we certainly want to pass along our best to the family of Miss Ann Osborne.
And there you see, you saw Virgil there. He's the man in the hat.
Yeah, the man in the hat. How about that? We'll have to get him with the man. I'm sure he's got the Pike County Bowl hat, but we needed to have him there in our Mountain Classic hat. Certainly a big, big part of the Mountain Classic.
And you know, the Pike County Bowl, the Mountain Classic. I mean, Virgil Osborne, he gets speaks very highly, of course, of Pike County. So 12 minutes left in this half, and Weston Robinson kicks it to the outside. He's looking for a block, and he's taken down after a pickup of 14 yards. Once again, Pikeville stays on the ground, and they're taking it to the number 4 ranked team in the WYMT Mountain Top 5. That, if you're a big fan of rankings, as many people are, always a source of debate, controversy, if you will.
Well, you know, I was talking, well, I don't guess we want to get to the Elvis Presley thing.
Probably not.
Speedway and Spin Out were great movies.
First down, once again, in the I formation. That has been what's worked for Pikeville, and Shirtliff up the middle. He is rumbling his way, and he's still on his feet to the outside. He's going to go. Shirtliff at the 5, touchdown, Pikeville. A 44-yard run by Shirtliff. And he almost was shirtless after that lack of tackling by Prestonsburg. He goes all the way to the barn, 44 yards.
You know, prior to that rush, he had 4 carries for 48 yards. He's somewhere around 100 in a TD. What a play. And we talked about his dad. You know, his dad is called Little Bob, but now hold it. You know, we're talking about one of the top offensive linemen, and he could make about 3 of me, so boy, looked tough right there.
Pikeville going for the extra point. The snap is down. The kick, a line drive blocked into the line, so it is no good. 14-0 Pikeville Panthers. Let's take a very quick break and be back here in just a moment at the Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl. $14-0 after the 44-yard jaunt and rumble by Robert Shirtliff. And now the Black Cats, with 11:23 left in this opening half, have to come up with some kind of offense. The only play they've had that's really gone for good yardage is that halfback pass from Trevor Compton. Speaking of Compton, he takes it there at the 10-yard line. He fakes the reverse here at the 25, fumbles the football, and Pikeville may have had it. It's a scramble, and the Panthers say they've got it. Let's see. As they take off the pile one by one, and the Panthers come up with it. First down at the 30-yard line.
Matt Sexton, the junior, comes away with it, and Coach John DeRoss had talked about special teams.
2 turnovers already, and we talked about that at the pregame. Turnovers, a key for Prestonsburg and for any team. But they've coughed it up twice now. Honecker, I believe, also in there.
Okay, maybe he came up with it. All right, okay.
And we've got an official's timeout on the field. As we check this situation, it's Jesse Chafin for Prestonsburg, as he's got an equipment problem.
I'll give him just a moment to straighten that one out. Well, I was looking pretty close there as I talked with Jim Freeman last night. I've had the, I call it laser surgery. A lot of people might say LASIK, but that's the horse racing term, man. I mean, that's horses bleed, you know, they go LASIK. So
the I formation, heavy to the left side, and Robinson gets it on the left side, and he picks up a couple of yards and is powered down by John Mark Stevens, number 81, and Britton Hamilton from behind got in late.
Not enough white shirts getting to the football, and that time you saw some gang tackling, but Pikeville well over some 150 yards already on the ground. And of course, you talked about that as key to the game, establish the run. And Pikeville on top 14-0, looking to tack on some more.
And flags fly as we had a little movement on the offensive line possibly.
Prior to the snap, false start, movement on the offensive line. 5-yard penalty, repeat, second down.
A lot of penalties in this opening game. Usually see that early on in the season, but the last half of the first quarter just penalty ridden or riddled.
Either way, it's not a good situation.
That's right.
And, you know, maybe one more time, I can't get over what a neat facility they have here at Pikeville. I mean, you can play any type of sport on this thing. You can play a game in the morning, in the afternoon, and in the evening, and it really takes a punch. But this is going to be a great thing for Pikeville.
Pikeville with 2 tight ends on this I formation. And Schaefer flushed out of the pocket. He rolls to his right. A flag comes down, connects with Weston Robinson, but this is going to come back. A hold, it looked like, in the backfield, and kind of a late flag to come in. We will check the call here, and that's exactly what it will be, a hold on Pikeville. So they will push him back another 10 yards, and we see Schaefer rolling out here. The flag comes in. Well, you will see the flag. Trust me, it was on the field. Weston Robinson with the completion.
Yeah, still a good throw and catch, though. You gotta like the way
holding penalty on Pikeville.
Quarterback Huffman is
got great size to him. 6'3", 200 pounds.
Holding, 55 offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
Will Lockhart.
Where's the key there, right?
Caught, and now it's 2nd and Robinson Creek for Pikeville. It's 2nd and 27.
Yeah, key there, of course, the penalty coming from the spot of the foul, and on the rollout, they were much deeper.
So Pikeville now, as Huffman goes back to pass, looks to his left, little shovel pass to Weston Robinson, complete. They will actually lose about 4 to 5 yards on that play.
Looked like they might have been trying to set up the old middle screen, but it looked like I saw one of the assistant coaches there. They seemed to be a little bit out of sync on the
too much separation on that shovel. It was you want to keep that shovel pass, obviously, you know, 2 to 3 yards. That was more like 5 to 6, and he was also at an angle and falling away from his intended receiver. So 3rd and 32 on the 47.
Whoa.
Might want to look at a draw. Pikeville's had success on the ground. Would not be surprised to see that in the shotgun. It's a straight snap to Huffman. And incomplete pass to Parrish's intended receiver. So it's now 4th down and long, punting situation. And that will bring on Jesse Parrish once again.
So the Black Cats dodge a bullet. The touchdown sort of put them on their heels on the ensuing kickoff. They drop the ball. If they fall behind 21-0, frankly, Brian, I don't think they get out of the hole. I don't think they come back for victory. But the difference, 2 scores and then maybe 3 touchdowns, a huge difference.
If you missed any of the scores from last night on Sports Overtime, we will have them for you at halftime of this ball game. As Parrish, the left-footed kicker, lets one fly, and it's fielded by Blackburn at the 15. Makes a stutter step, and what a block as the flag comes flying in, but a block just leveling. Jeremy Carr just lays the wood. But we're going to have a penalty. So once again, either way, if it's on Peaburg, which it probably is, they are going to start deep in their territory again.
And once again, it's a special teams mistake here.
Course, John DeRosa's got to be a little frustrated right now.
Well, it's sort of the thing you get the opportunity to practice the least, Brian. You know, you want to get your offense in, you want to get your different defensive looks, and special teams sort of takes a little bit of hit early. And see the assistants, Coach McNamee there, deep in thought. The cerebral coach. Man.
Stoic.
Yeah.
Very stoic.
On the return, illegal block in the back above the waist. Number 4 on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. First down, Prestonsburg.
Man, they are back deep.
You were talking about this field, though. This AstroTurf, this Astro play is one type of this artificial grass. Just unbelievable conditions out here.
Unbelievable
Compton
conditions.
now at quarterback. He keeps it, and he spins his way to about the 15-yard line. He's slow to get up, though. He may have hurt himself. And he is limping off the field. And then we're going to have an injury timeout to Trevor Compton, and they cannot afford to lose him.
No.
As he is limping off of the field. There you see him right there. He was last year's start. He may have a cramp, not sure, but they're looking at his right knee.
Yeah,
and that's scary.
this really isn't the time for maybe a cramp in this when it's not quite that hot. And so, but let's hope, though.
I don't know if we have a replay on that, but we're going to take a timeout. Maybe we can get a replay on that possibly when we come back, because Compton spun out of a tackle, and they're checking his knee. We'll take a timeout, be back in a moment. The Panthers are up 14-0. They are still attending to Trevor Compton on the far side of the field. He is limping behind the bench. They're going to try to walk it off, see what they can come up with. Schaefer back in at shotgun at quarterback, and he hands off to Blackburn, and Blackburn met behind the line.
Whoa.
Josh Sullivan brings him down, big number 68. And he puts those meat hooks on him, and by the size of him, he hadn't missed a meal too often, so he's going to put those meat hooks into him.
Pikeville winning the battle at the line of scrimmage, and I'm not sure that I anticipated such dominance.
Well, I was told before the game, you know, we have a lot of people out there who, you know, we all think we know who's who and who's that, and I was told Pikeville would dominate the front line. So
okay.
So maybe somebody out there knows a lot more than they give themselves credit for. I don't know. Brenton Hamilton, he gets hit right at the line of scrimmage, and Pikeville's defense is all over the place. As he goes down, that brings up 4th and about 8, and it's a punting situation. And you see Blackburn, number 32, will be the punter. He has a very heavily taped right ankle, hurt that in the Boone County scrimmage, and obviously not 100%, but he has to kick with that foot.
Yeah.
Snap to Blackburn. Gets off a decent kick, and it is fielded at about the 45-yard line. Chad Walls kicks it to the left side, and he is brought down quickly by Wes Hall. So that is where the Pikeville Panthers will start in Prestonsburg territory. So this game also been a game of field position. Prestonsburg has been stuck on both ends of the field, on their own side of the field, and Pikeville pretty much starts right in the middle.
Well, they sure have, and Prestonsburg dodged a couple of bullets, but certainly it is a 2-touchdown spread. I mean, Pikeville, this is no aberration, man. They are putting it to them.
Once again in the I formation, and Shurtleff up the middle, and that finally Prestonsburg takes care of that little quick hitter up the middle, and Shurtleff goes for no gain, maybe 6 inches, if anything.
Big number 75, Tyler Hamilton, and saw Coach DeRossett with some of the signals over there.
Your Mountain Top 5, we will also talk about that throughout the evening. Got a lot of phone calls this afternoon at the station about that. It seems to be, I didn't get a chance to check it, seems to be a highly popular topic on bluegrasspreps.com. We'll talk about that also. Great hands by Weston Robinson, and there may be a flag, no flag, almost a clip. Matthew Young says the block was legal on the shoulder, and Weston Robinson picks up about half of that, so it's going to be 3rd and long still.
You know, Prestonsburg would be in a world of hurt, I think, without number 81 in the ball game. John Mark Stevens really showing the ability to get from side to side and make some plays.
John Mark, 6'3", 215.
And I guess you can see why he was invited to Nebraska's summer camp to go work out. I mean, the kid is playing pretty tough.
Robinson again straight up the middle. He's got yardage out to the outside, and he is knocked out of bounds at around the 26-yard line. And now Prestonsburg is jumping up and down. I don't know what the call is, and it's 1st down Prestonsburg. Robinson must have been stripped of the football.
Looked like maybe Sexton just takes it away. Excuse me, rather. Peters takes it away, and Coach McNamee is saying, I don't understand what happened. I don't believe we've got the replay. I didn't pick it up.
There was a clash of bodies, and it was tough to see. Here is the replay right now. Robinson has the ball in his left arm, and let's see what happens. Peters goes for the ball, and sure enough, he takes it straight out of his hand.
Takes it away.
What a great play.
Great shot by our man Freddie there, wasn't it? And looks like a big play on 1st down by Pikeville's Will Lockhart as big number 55 comes up with the stop to set up 2nd and long. But man, oh man, great play.
That happened so fast. The Houdini-like hands of Brandon Peters.
Man, 6 foot, 165 junior.
High formation for Peaburg. The pitch out to Joe Blackburn, and Joe Blackburn gets to the outside, and he fumbles the football, and Pikeville recovers at the 40-yard line. Hit from behind was Blackburn, and guess who? He wears number 8, John Mayo. He's everywhere.
He's everywhere. You see him coming off the field there to the tumultuous applause of the homestanding Pikeville Panthers, and just another turnover. Let's take a look here. You're going to see, I'm not sure who makes the hit, but they come up from behind. And let's see if we can pick up that. Winnie Parrish comes up with the left-handed. Boy, these guys are well-schooled about seeing that the running back perhaps has it, holding it a little loose, and he makes the strip play, and it works out that time, because that was a good play for Prestonsburg, Brian. They have had few of those, and that was one that maybe had some of the momentum going for them.
And that's illegal procedure on Pikeville as Chip Davis was scampering to the other side of the field. And that'll be 5 yards. First and 15 now for Pikeville at the 45-yard line at Prestonsburg's 45. And it's really, as we said, it's been about turnovers. It's been a game of field position, and Pikeville has pretty much, with the exception of that halfback pass, has owned every aspect of this ball game. Once again, I formation. Receivers to the bottom of the screen. That's Sexton, and that's also Davis. And it's Weston Robinson to the left side. Gets a block from Davis, and he dances his way back to the original line of scrimmage. Ball looks like it's loose, but they call him down. They call him down.
Boy, another good play by that man again, Peters. And he sort of tried to hustle around and make the same type of play, but tell you,
the Cats trying to strip the football as Robinson was going down.
Sort of Robinson looking a little bit like North Laurel's Nick Blair. I mean, he is going to show some power in some close confines here. One miss, and you're going to see it takes 2 or 3, and he's on the ground, and the ball will pop out.
Nick Blair out of North Laurel, just a phenomenal athlete. 5'7", 8 maybe.
He's able to bring like his entire body weight explosion, you know, just with a couple of strides.
Robinson brought down behind the line of scrimmage by 75 Tyler Hamilton, but really that play was caused because the offensive line of Corey Miller, pretty much they collided with one another. A little miscommunication on that play, so that brings up 3rd and 10. As we are now under 4 minutes to play, 3:50 and counting. And right now, Pikeville looking to, as you said, another score. It may be too much for Prestonsburg to overcome.
Prestonsburg hasn't had an opportunity in this second quarter to do much offensively. They've turned it over too quickly.
Huffman across the middle, intercepted by Prestonsburg's Jeremy Carr, and he takes it back to the 43. So with 3:28, the Black Cats have great field position, and we'll see if the red and black from Floyd County can make something happen here.
I like the play call, though. You've got your quarterback, and he's having a good game. You're going to try to go for the throat a little bit here. If they got one more score, maybe they could put this thing away, but you saw a great job there by number 3, Carr, and he slides in. The pass comes right in his area. Looks like maybe a zone coverage deal, and picks it off and turns it around.
Now back to pass is Schaefer, connects to John Mark Stevens. He is across the 30-yard line, and that is a first down. And that's the first down Prestonsburg's had in quite a while. Weston Robinson has come off the field for Pikeville. It looks like he's got a busted nose. So he has missed that play, and he's going to miss this next play also. John Mark Stevens, a huge pickup there of 30 yards.
Prestonsburg, though, unable to get anything going on the ground, Brian, and they're somehow going to have to establish a ground game. I don't believe they're going to be successful here this evening.
Schaefer now, the pitch out to Joe Blackburn. Blackburn waiting for a block, goes nowhere. Brett Gibson comes in, maybe a pickup of 1. And the trick plays, we've seen Prestonsburg fake a reverse on a kickoff. They do have a reverse. They have a fake, they have a halfback pass. So they're trying a little trickery and seeing what they can come up with as we're under 2:37 now on the running clock, 14 zip.
But just, you know, very little success straight ahead running. And at some point in time, you've got to get that ground game going, take the pressure off your quarterback.
Schaefer out into the flat, and that play, slipping through the tackle is Kyle Oosley. He's down to the right side and gets out of bounds, turns nothing into something, and he picks up around 7 yards, and somehow Oosley slips through the cracks of the Pikeville defense.
They had him bottled up back deep. That play, you take a look at it here, that was a lateral, not the forward pass. So if he loses the handle on that one, it's another fumble. But you see Oosley battling, giving it the big effort, and Prestonsburg needing a little more of that emotion in their play right now.
Big Dennis on the sideline, the man with the camp, stays in there trying to take the hit. Hand off, Blackburn. He cuts it back to the left side a little bit, and that is close enough and should be a first down. So Prestonsburg has the clock stopped. They can regroup, and now a flag comes flying in from the far sideline. And it comes this late. It's got to be, another personal foul of some sort. You'd have to figure.
Yeah, something dead ball.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Prestonsburg. That's the third penalty of that sort, personal foul or unsportsmanlike, that they have had so far.
Now that was in front of the Prestonsburg bench there. I'm assuming, I don't know if we have a replay on that one, but probably the bench was perhaps feeling maybe there was a late hit. I didn't necessarily see it, but I'm thinking that one.
James DeRossa, assistant coach. James DeRossa was asking for an explanation.
After the play was over and the first down was gained, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. That's a 15-yard penalty. It'll be 1st and 10. 1st and 10.
So he gained the first down, and then resulting penalty as the dead ball. So it's 1st and 10, not 1st and 20.
Oh, now to the outside. Schaefer keeps it, pitches out to Joe Blackburn, who gets back very close to the first down sticks. Knocked out of bounds by Josh Sullivan.
Yeah, a little massage over on the sidelines, and I think we're going to be set for a great second half. Prestonsburg made some mistakes here early. Prestonsburg's made some mistakes early. They're actually lucky to be down only 14-0. And I'm not sure. I think they've turned it over at least twice, maybe 3 times here in this second quarter.
We've got a timeout. Let's take a quick break. It's 1:58 left in the half. Prestonsburg driving, trying to get something on the board. 1st and 10 for the Black Cats at the Pikeville 23. Their best chance to score coming now, 1:58. Schaefer, the pitch to the backfield. Blackburn to the outside. He is being taken down. Ball is loose, and Pikeville has it again at the 10-yard line. And the Prestonsburg coaching staff in unison takes off the headset, and they cannot believe what they just saw.
Oh, this time it was Sexton coming away with it. And I don't know if we've got the replay there, but I think you're going to see a block here. You're going to see number 30, Brent Hamilton, give a block, and his helmet goes flying off. You see that? So there are some pads popping. And then let's take a look here.
Brett Gibson forces it.
Yeah, and you see the body sort of go after it. And number 4 in the program, number 1 in the heart of the Pikeville Panther folks, as the Panthers dodge another bullet. Matt Sexton comes away with it.
1:46, and the little running play up the middle. Shirtlift goes nowhere, and so probably no gain.
Wonder if Prestonsburg would call some timeouts or something here. Maybe not on this play, but I believe they have at least 2 remaining.
Well, Jess Parrish has done a nice job of punting the football tonight, getting Pikeville pinning Prestonsburg deep. Of course, Prestonsburg, though, is just killing themselves with the penalties.
Yeah.
And, of course, it's the emotion of this first game also that may have something to do with it.
And how about our Tim Mays-driven WYMT scoreboard there? I love it. Gives you the score, time, and if we've got a flag, that stuff fires out there, down, yard to gain, all that.
Exactly a minute left, and Pikeville going to play conservative here. Shirtlift tackled, and now would be a good time for maybe a timeout if they elect to do so. They do not. The clock continues to roll, so Prestonsburg and Pikeville contend obviously on taking a 14-0 lead into the locker room.
Yeah.
And now the whistle blows, but another 14 seconds rolls off the clock.
Prestonsburg.
So with 43 seconds, we've got a timeout. Let's take a quick break also. It's 14-0 Pikeville. It's decision time for Peaburg what to do on defense. They trail by 14. 43 seconds. We mentioned, does Prestonsburg play it conservative on defense, or do they bring the house thinking Pikeville will be conservative also?
You know, I've got to believe you're going to try to rush the punter here, but of course Pikeville is very good at the kicking game. I think we've seen them far superior in special teams. And
well, 3rd and 9, so Pikeville has a play. Prestonsburg has a timeout left.
Don't believe you're going to see Pikeville put it up in the air here. They probably want to keep it on the ground to at least ensure that Prestonsburg will use their last time out.
Huffman keeps it himself, and he goes down maybe a gain of 1 or 2. Clock continues to roll now at 34 seconds. And now the whistle blows and it's set to go. But with if they have a timeout, if Peaburg has one left,
I believe they're just saying they've had enough for this first half, and they're going to reload and take a shot in the second half.
Well, the way this first half's gone, almost nothing has gone right for Peaburg. So now Pikeville, they do have to have a play. 28 seconds was when the 25-second play clock was started, so they have to take the snap. Parrish at the goal line gets it away. Great punt. Nice high kick. And Ousley's back, but a flag is down. So Ousley takes it and dances to the left side. Robinson in pursuit, and that's going to bring out another flag. And Ousley is knocked out of bounds at around the 20, but 2 flags on the play, so we will wait and see. One flag, obviously, West Woods, a clip, for pushing the back here on the return.
The other is, of course, roughing the punter. The half can't end on a defensive penalty, so this will be interesting. I believe Coach McNamee, though, could just go ahead and refuse the penalties and end this half, so we'll see what happens. I don't believe he has to accept them, but these are both against Prestonsburg.
No time left on the clock, 14-0 Pikeville, and obviously they want to get into the locker room as quickly as possible and discuss second half strategy. Prestonsburg just wants this thing to end. This has not been a good 24 minutes for Prestonsburg.
Can't get any worse. Maybe it's what they're thinking and just trying to get out of the first half and move on, kind of like our man Tim Couch said it about his appearance as a Green Bay Packer. It can't be any worse. You know, it can't be any worse. I'm ready to go and take my shot.
Here's the call here from Matthew
There were
Young.
2 fouls on the play. There was running into the kicker, a 5-yard penalty on the defense. Illegal block in the back on the defense. The 5-yard penalty is going to be taken, repeat 4th down.
Well, couldn't you just decline the penalty because it's going to end the half? And now if that's the case, Pikeville's going to have to punt it again.
Hold it.
Or is it
Here's the reason. Here's the reason you wouldn't do it, because there would have to be maybe one more play. If you don't take those, then Prestonsburg sets up shop at the 20 with 1 play, even though there's no time on the clock. So that's the reason that you're kind of forced here, I believe, to go ahead and snap the ball. Because if you refuse the running into the kicker,
well, they can just snap it and take a knee and just play it conservative.
Sure, that's what they're going to do.
This half will be over.
Right. There will be, this won't be
victory formation here.
A non-timed play.
Yeah, the Panthers in the victory formation. It's obviously a victory for the first half. So we go to the locker room now, and it's been all Pikeville Panthers as their crowd comes to their feet. It's 14-0. We reached halftime here at the WYMT Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl. We're back in just a moment. Right now, as you see, and the band here dressed in yellow with Beatles attire. Don't ask, I'm not sure. The Pikeville High School band has the Beatles on their shirts, and this first half, Jim, has been dominated by the Panthers. Welcome back to the halftime of game number 1 between Prestonsburg and Pikeville. The Panthers lead it 14-0, and Robert Shurtleff doing it on offense. Weston Robinson doing it on offense. Josh Sullivan all over the place on defense. We talked about the keys of the game.
Yeah.
And for Prestonsburg, they have a new look. The new look hasn't really been that successful on offense. The defense, with the exception of the run game, they've taken care of, bits and pieces of the game here or there, but, nothing has worked right. The new look so far has been ineffective. The power football, not a lot of power to it, more trick football. And then turnovers, well, they've turned the ball over at the most crucial of times, the last coming inside their own, inside the Pikeville 15-yard line.
You know, it seems as the old cliche, turnovers, but certainly ball possession is key. You can't score without it. And Prestonsburg just had a portion of that second quarter there where maybe they could have turned it around. Instead, Pikeville jumps up, expands their lead to 2 scores, and nearly made it 21-0. So I think if you're Coach John DeRossa, you're certainly not happy, but, you know, you could have been blown out of this thing the way your team played in the first half. So try to take some positives from that and take a shot at the second half. And of course, we talked about the fact Pikeville plays most of their fellas both ways. Prestonsburg with the luxury of some substitutions. You wonder, this game has sort of been a slow kind of smash mouth affair. You wonder if in maybe the fourth quarter, if the Black Cats are close, kind of like Leslie County last night, if they can hang in, be close in the fourth quarter, maybe the fact they don't have to maybe have those guys going both ways could be a factor.
Well, right now the score is 14-0. Let's go ahead and take a look at last night's scores as they appeared on Sports Overtime. And you'll also notice, of course, on the right-hand side, some of the stats that were called in. And of course, anytime we get a score, we appreciate any and all stats when called into Sports Overtime.
Absolutely.
Let's go ahead and take a look at last night's scores with Remember the Titans theme underneath the scoreboard. Let's go ahead and take a look. Take a look at the first half stats, Jim, and we will have first. There we go, the score and first downs and so forth. Pretty even on the first downs, but yards rushing, that has been the key to this ball game.
It's just one more digit there in the ones column or tens, whatever you want to say, but 15 to 155. And you see Prestonsburg's seeming edge there with passing 82-6, but primarily coming on one play, the halfback option there. And certainly if you look at the turnover battle, 4 turnovers for Prestonsburg. Not sure how many of those actually came in the second quarter, but I'm thinking at least 2 of the 4.
3 fumbles and 1 interception for Peaburg. And you look at the yards rushing, Robert Shirtliff, 105 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's your halftime MVP of this ball game on offense. Now, you know, defensively, Pikeville has bottled up Peaburg.
So do we are we having a offensive player of the game and defensive player, or do we just have to
decide? Pick the one.
So we've just got to decide there. Well, you see the folks there.
We are back at Hillard Howard Field at Pikeville High School as both teams continue to warm up. And as we mentioned to you, of course, don't go anywhere after this ball game. The Estill County Engineers, coached by Mike Jones, former Hazard coach, coached the Dogs back in '93 and '94. And the last time Hazard was in a regional championship game, they played Pikeville and then lost 25-18. So he comes back to Pikeville on this night, bringing his Engineer ball club. And that Engineers team, very physical. Saw them in a scrimmage game against Sheldon Clark, and they've got a young man, Michael Davidson, at nose guard on the D-line, and on the offensive line also, who is being heavily recruited by Nebraska, Louisville, Kentucky. So we will get a look at him. And guys like John Honchel, another big emotional leader for the Engineers, but they've got to go up against Belfry. And they're going to bring in that defending state title tag with them. And I'm sure one of the keys to the game a little bit later on is remembering that was last year.
Yeah.
And they need to regroup again. And I'm sure the Pirates will have no trouble in picking up where they left off once they get a few of those question marks answered, like offensive line. But we'll talk about that a little bit later.
We're going to have a number change in this second half for the tailback, Weston Robinson. He'll be wearing number 25, a little blood on the jersey. So our man Royce Mayo comes up and gives us all the information. Thank goodness we've got that. And they put a couple of minutes more on the clock. We'll be ready to go here.
Robinson had his nose busted late in that first half, and he came off the field, and you could tell he was being attended to. And obviously, hopefully, nothing serious as a broken nose or anything. But he was bleeding quite heavily from the nose, and jersey saturated. So the change of the jersey. So if you're watching at home, which we hope you are, Weston Robinson, number 2 for Pikeville, is now number 25. And in that first half, Robinson rushed for 47 yards. And almost has, as one coach told me once, has those happy feet. He keeps his feet moving.
and really is a tough ball player for Pikeville. In the second half, the Pikeville Panthers will be doing the kicking as Prestonsburg. What do you think they talked about at halftime, Jim? Because they really didn't get a lot going offensively.
You know, I'm thinking that Coach DeRosset just has to say the first half is dead and gone. We got to bury that. And certainly special teams wise, they were playing tentative. We talked about last night about the teams that will come out and play with confidence. And with that confidence comes poise. Prestonsburg didn't really look confident. The poise a little shaken. So I think they're going to try to throw those things out. And you've got to somehow establish a ground game. Somehow he had to challenge Coach DeRosset, challenge those big guys up front to open some holes for the running backs. And we'll just have to take a look and see if they can establish the run.
Elkins does the kicking, and we are underway in the second half. Back deep for Prestonsburg, Brandon Peters. He catches the ball, and he goes straight up the middle, and he is one man away from busting it, fumbles the football, but recovers it at the 46. Almost catastrophe for the Cats starting the third quarter.
Sometimes you'd rather be lucky is good. Not sure. Perhaps it was Sands who made the hit. No, let's see. Parrish, and
we have an injured Pikeville Panther down on the field right now.
I believe that may be Parrish. That's Jesse Parrish, number 20. But you could hear the pads pop all the way up here, and you thought, well, Prestonsburg has kind of dropped it again, but fortunately it bounces right back up. That's not Parrish, is it?
The injured player, it looks like just cramps, is number 33 there, Chad Walls, a senior defensive back wide receiver. Of course, on the defense, that right calf. And here you see Peters sprint straight up the man, almost busted it.
Yeah.
Let's see who got their hand in there.
Big hit right here.
There's a arm tackle.
Well,
let's see, where is it? Well, we don't see it. We're under play anyway. There it is, Jesse Parrish.
Oh, yeah, the big hit with Parrish.
And flags on the play here, so we will wait and see what the indication is. And it's on Prestonsburg again. So really, the Cats, once they take one step forward, they take two steps back.
All right, I think I've heard a song like that somewhere. All right.
Please don't sing for us, Jim.
No, I
Thank
won't. I had the Elvis thing going last night, and sort of like return to sender, follow that dream.
Chop block. One held the defensive lineman straight up, one hit him below the knee. 15-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, first down.
And that's a call you don't see a lot of in high school, even though, you know, it's marginal. A lot of people do that. One team out west on I-75 in our coverage area, outstanding at getting away with that block underneath as Schaefer rolls, looks far downfield. He throws, incomplete. Intended receiver for Prestonsburg, Kyle Oosley. And another flag, and this one will go against Prestonsburg. Illegal man downfield. Man, oh man, oh man.
Looked like Jesse Chafin had gotten open around the 50-yard line.
Second down.
There you heard second down. Told you.
Yeah.
Ineligible receiver downfield. So now it is 2nd and 25 at the 31-yard line of Pikeville.
Pikeville just playing great defense so far.
Shotgun. Schaefer nowhere to go. Goes down the middle over the head of his intended receiver Oosley. Knocked away by Tim Chaplin, but waiting in the wings for the interception. You know it.
John Mayo was ready, wasn't he? And here comes Champlin to...
Oh, check that right. That was Weston Robinson again,
sure,
of course. The number change already gets this man, which is not good.
Yeah, well, I had it early in the second half. But
what kind of surgery you say you have on your eyes?
Well, it's
that also.
Yes, it was. Some people want to call it LASIK surgery. Not me. That's what goes to horses.
3rd and 25. Great snag.
Catch.
John Mark Stevens with the completion there. That will bring up 4th and 10. The ball just then gets back to the original line of scrimmage, and it is punting time for the Pikeville Panthers. Or check that, Prestonsburg Black Cats, 11 minutes and counting in this first first part of this third quarter.
Well, just like I said, Brian, they need to establish the run. So what do? They throw it on all the downs.
And a bad punt by Joe Blackburn as the ball hits and takes a favorable Black Cat bounce. And being the only thing this man could ever do on the football field was kick a ball, and he dropped the point of the ball instead of keeping it up. So basically, he got a backwards end-over-end kick out of that. So the kicking game, obviously a point of concern for the Black Cats that will be addressed, I'm sure, in the coming weeks. Chase Huffman at quarterback. There you see McNamee talking to Huffman as he brings his troops to the line of scrimmage.
You know, when I talked with Coach McNamee earlier in the week, he talked about the fact that Robert Shurtleff had a shoulder separation, okay? I mean, the kid wasn't 100%, but, man, if he's not 100%, I don't want to see it. You?
Robinson up the middle. No, I don't. He's one of those guys that Shurtleff, though, comes from that rigorous football background.
Yeah.
That great, you know,
let's suit it up and play.
Great training, you know, and it's more than just being physical, though. It's that mental aspect of the game, because you have to figure being coached at home also, you got to do this and do this. And a slight shoulder separation suffered 2 weeks ago. And that's one thing that we've seen out of the Kentucky Wildcats. Speaking of a Shurtleff and UK Wildcats, they have been decimated with injuries. My goodness, they play Louisville here in September 5th. And Shurtleff to the outside. And he lowers the shoulder and does exactly what a ball carrier should do, deliver the blow instead of receive the blow. So he picks up another first down, and Shurtleff passed the 110-yard mark rushing tonight.
Yeah, not much for those fellas. The Black Cats to cheer about here, but saw a good textbook tackle also there by Peters, as he did take on the imposing presence of Shurtleff. And, you know, Peters played a tough game for Prestonsburg back there in the defensive secondary, came up with a couple of strip plays and some fumble recoveries.
Making their way up to the seat, Penny Stratton, former WYMT weather anchor. She's enjoying the ball game tonight. Weston Robinson's enjoying this run to the left side. He kicks it out to the 40, to the 38-yard line, and is brought down after a pickup of about 17 yards.
Of course, you see the Panther
another
fans.
First down.
Yeah, they love it, and of course, everybody's in mid-season form, and our man Freddie Hunt on the play and slides away with that lateral quickness to get away from the oncoming ball players. Boy, I tell you, tough job on that sideline cam, isn't it, Brian?
9:15 to go. Yes, it is. More than you know, Jim. Ball taken up the middle for a couple of yards.
I've been there with Joe Gabbard when injuries have occurred, so many years ago.
Of course, you remember last year at the Honey Bowl in Jackson, Randy Velfling, one of the guys of the truck, his brother Frank, taken out.
Well, you know,
wow.
he wasn't with us yesterday, and I said, well, maybe the fact we ran that over, 20 times regular and 15 more in slow motion.
Wow.
Might have had something to do with it.
The Panthers stay in that I formation. Weston Robinson bounces off one would-be tackler, and then the Black Cats pile on there and the gang tackle. One of the Cats in there on the tackle was David Schaefer, the quarterback, also playing in there as a linebacker. Loss of a yard, 3rd and 11, so a possible passing situation for Pikeville.
Don't believe you really need to do that, though, Brian. You've got the lead. Prestonsburg unable to get anything going. It's almost like in a situation like this, Pike was going to have to make a mistake to let Prestonsburg back in this one. And I think maybe you'll see a conservative play call here. Of course, I've been wrong every single time. He may throw it to the end zone.
Back is the quarterback, Huffman. He throws and has a receiver open, incomplete. The intended receiver for Pikeville was Matt Sexton. Cannot, boy, Chase Huffman delivered a bullet in there to Sexton.
Yes, he did.
Ball knocked away, and it is now 4th down and a punting situation for the Panthers at the 40. Or they might go for it. You never know the way things have been going lately for Prestonsburg.
I don't believe you want to set them up with the short field.
Sure.
You mentioned earlier how Prestonsburg's had 80 yards plus virtually every time. But just taking a look at the injury report, Sexton also had a little bit of a shoulder problem. So guys that were hurt playing well for Pike.
Parrish Nice high punt. Ousley calls for the fair catch at the 10. He fumbles the football, and they fall on it, and a flag, and maybe that halo rule comes into play.
I think they actually touched. And you can't do that. And so that'll be interference.
And a break for Prestonsburg. They finally get at least something going in their direction. Everything has been pushing the Cats backwards. Well, now this one moves them forward a little bit. So instead of starting right there at the 10, they will either get this thing kicked over again or just get a few yards ahead. I mean,
yeah, I think they'll.
10.
Now that should be, I believe, the 15-yard penalty. And let's see, they're going to kick it again. So let's see.
Yeah, they take the 15 and make him kick it over again. So there we go. Put the test to Jesse Parrish, and Prestonsburg not really doing a lot of pressuring the punter, so they've got to be able to set back and get a nice return.
Fair catch interference on the kicking team. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, 4th down.
Just holler when you want it back.
Special teams about the only thing I have a clue about, Jim.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, just kidding. 7:38 left in this third quarter, 4th and forever for Pikeville. So it's Jesse Parrish, 4th and 26 to be exact. He is back to punt, and now Prestonsburg puts 2 men back deep. And there is the punt, and it's a wobbler and a bad punt. And this one will be, let's see where they mark it off. At the 30, and now they start moving up the field to the 35, and they stop at the 36. So they improve their field position by 26 yards.
Yep.
So it's a nice move by the Black Cats.
Now Prestonsburg, last 4 years in the playoffs, they lose to the eventual state champion. And each year, and all of them start with B's. Boyle County, Bardstown in the title game, Breathitt County a couple years ago, and then, of course, last year Belfry. And gotta believe some of those Prestonsburg Belfry games.
Well, I was there for the first 3, so Prestonsburg can't blame me for last year. Schaefer underneath. He keeps it on the option and now looks to pitch. He pitches it to Blackford. Fumble on the play. Pikeville, and John DeRosset does nothing but drop his head in disbelief. Fumble on the play. And Pikeville recovers, and it is number 40. Guess who? Robert Shurtleff. And now look at DeRosset. He just really doesn't know what to do here. I mean, every time they get something going, and it's those first game jitters, as you may have said.
Sure.
You know, who knows what it is?
Well, you're making some mistakes, but what's going on here? We're talking about mistakes of aggression versus the mistake of lackadaisicalness. And that time, the quarterback trying to make a play. He was trying to be aggressive, just that time trying to do a little too much. Looks to me like Shurtleff trying to nail his name into the MVP column.
He's got a good start right now, as he has roughly around 115, 120 yards rushing, has recovered a fumble, been in on numerous plays. That's the 4th lost fumble for the Prestonsburg Black Cats.
And 5 turnovers, is that right? 5 turnovers in this thing? I don't think you would have figured that coming in, but of course you talked about the new look and what kind of problems they might have if not keeping their poise.
Huffman with the eye to Robinson. Cuts back across the grain, and another flag comes flying in. Boy, I tell you, it's a good thing.
Tell you, big number 75, Tyler Hamilton, playing a pretty big game in the front for the Black Cats. Looks like he was there again.
The hold on Pikeville will push them back. This game hopefully will not end under the yellow caution flag. Hopefully they'll race this thing to the finish if we can ever get any continuity going between these two schools. Here's the call for Matthew Young.
Holding, number 5 offense, 10 yards from the end of the run. 3rd down, 10 yards.
You know, right now,
he said 3rd down. It's on 2nd. I'm sorry.
Second down.
There we go. 2nd down.
19.
If this thing was to end right now, the way it's going, this would be the 3rd lowest scoring Pike County Bowl game in the history of this event that dates back to '85. Huffman rolls to the right, decides to keep it, tucks it and run, knocked out of bounds. As a lot of bodies fly into the Prestonsburg bench. back in '85. Belfry and Somerset, 7-6 Pirates, 13 points there. And then also that same score was achieved again a little bit later on in this bowl series. But the lowest scoring game of all time was Male 7, Belfry nothing back in 1997. Campbell County beat Belfry, there it is, 7-6 in '98. So several low-scoring games, including involving the Pirates, of course, that ball control offense.
Exactly.
But Pikeville now at 14-0, and on the Saturday games, we've had 2 consecutive shutouts, and Pikeville's working on a 3rd shutout. Huffman in the shotgun, 3rd and long, goes to throw, and that ball incomplete. The intended receiver, Chad Walls, the ball falls and hits the ground. Probably looked like a good call from up here. He may have trapped it.
Good job by the officials in this game, Brian. You know, you mentioned just no continuity because of the penalties, but, you know, you've got to call those things. You can't just let it go. And the officials sort of determining the level of play, and the guys have to make that adjustment. And right now, Prestonsburg having difficulty adjusting to the pace of the game, but they're only down 14-0. If they could come up with a big play and tack on a score, different deal.
And the kick is away, and that's a good no call because Jess Parrish. And what in the world happened there? But Pikeville touched it.
It doesn't make any difference with Pikeville touching it. That was not the...
Billy Hicks comes flying in from Prestonsburg.
Yeah,
the ball is dead when it hits, but still.
He was just a little confused.
Wow, that would... We have got timeout on the field, so at 5:51, we will take a timeout. Everybody will regroup here. As Pikeville leads 14-0, you're watching the Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl on Mountain Sports.
20 seconds.
And here's that replay on the punt just a moment ago as it hits right there.
And we'll have to sort of confer. I don't believe that the ball is dead when it touches. And, of course, now former head coach here, Royce Mayo, is going to tell me that exactly it is dead the minute that the Pikeville player touched it. So despite the fact that Prestonsburg tried to cover it, there would have been no turnover.
Schaefer back to pass, and he is going for it. No, he tucks it and runs. Nice move by the quarterback as he takes it up for about a 17-yard gain. And he will probably be the quarterback for the entire second half. And he's going to have to do more plays like that because Trevor Compton has not returned to the ball game since that knee injury late in the first half.
Going to see him under heavy duress here, and he steps up in the pocket, okay? And nobody at home in the middle of the field. Shurtleff there will try to close, and looks like Gibson also comes up, but first down Prestonsburg.
Once again, the Cats keep it on the ground. Hamilton, he powers his way for about 3 yards as he takes it to the 45 of the Panthers. 5:23 on a running clock. Prestonsburg, they've had chances to strike. They've got to do something. I think you'd have to figure with the way Pikeville was able to run the football, they may even have to get a score before we go into the fourth quarter here.
Yeah. And how about the way Brett Gibson playing, you know, his big brother, Chase Gibson.
He's right there at the 50-yard line. Yeah. He's back to us. Schaefer again, the quick hitter out to the right flat, complete to Oosley, who picks up about 4 more yards. So it will bring up third and about 3 and a long 4 maybe.
What do you think about Prestonsburg sort of abandoning the run here at this point? They seem to.
Got an official's timeout. Injured, slightly injured on that play was Will Lockhart. They blew the whistle, so he will have to miss this next play.
Prestonsburg at some point, I think, going to have to get the ground game going.
It is 3rd and 3. And it looks like it's a short 3 at that. I formation, Prestonsburg. They pitch to Blackburn. He cuts it back up. He's close to the first down, but brought from behind, or dropped in the backfield, rather, by Brett Gibson. And speaking of Gibson.
It's in the genes, my man. Of course.
Maybe he picked up a yard on that play, maybe 1. The ball is close to the 40-yard line, and the yardstick is just inside the 38, so we're looking at about 2.5 yards. And Prestonsburg, no hesitation here.
Yeah.
They look to be, nope, yes they are, I formation.
Now, Shurtleff and Gibson playing well. That time to close quickly.
And Schaefer keeps it. He flips
What
to
a play.
Blackford. What a play. And now here comes the
Oh,
flag.
that wasn't.
Oh,
he's
going
going
to here.
He's going to throw. He's going to hit him with the forward lateral, and I don't think it was. Let's see if we've got the replay. He was, the flag was thrown. We don't have the replay. The flag was not thrown by the linesman. It was thrown by the head official.
Right.
And now he's going conferring with his guys to say, was it a forward lateral? He's picking it up. Great job.
No flag, and finally Prestonsburg gets a break. That would have been a killer.
That was, what we were talking about, a few minutes ago, he tries to do something similar to that. They turn the ball over. The defense rises up, and what we see that last time we talked about, a mistake of aggression, Brian. He's trying to make something happen. Somebody's got to do that, sort of turn this thing around, particularly those big guys on the offensive line.
What a play by Schaefer and a pitch to Blackburn. Second first down of the second half, and a fly ball basically that John Mayo has a wide open interception. Feet go out from under him a little bit and he cannot come up with it. Schaefer got away with a very poor decision.
Yeah, sometimes you see Coach McNamee there, but sometimes it's just so easy. It's like the 18-inch putt for the victory on 18. You step up and you don't even, it's like nowhere. And just one of those kind of things where you're just kind of dropping down right to him and just too easy.
Looked like Justin Leonard at the 18th on Whistling Straits. That thing just kind of floated in the air. Schaefer again can't get rid of it, does get rid of it to Hamilton, who's driven out of bounds by a host of tacklers at the 35.
You say it, a host of tacklers. Look at the maroon shirts around the ball carrier. And, if you're Coach McNamee, you've got to love the way your team has tackled this evening. They have done a solid job in shutting Prestonsburg's ground game down. And Prestonsburg have been pretty impressive offensively in scrimmages earlier this year.
So the ball is officially marked at the 37-yard line. Schaefer back to pass, keeps it. Loose. Oh, what a shot by Brett Gibson, and somehow Schaefer catches the ball. The ball slipped out of his hand and landed in Schaefer, and Brett Gibson just laid the smack down at the 43-yard line.
That's some kind of, I believe we're going to have a look at this one and check a
Holy
look.
Cow.
Watch the hat that comes through. He loses the handle and boom.
Oh, wow. That's a shot at the 40-yard line. Schaefer's going to field that one, take two, and call me in the morning.
Yeah.
4th and 13, man,
like
but he's
they're
back
gonna go
up.
for it.
Tough player at the 40, 4th and 13. Pikeville. And at the defense, here comes Sullivan. He drills Schaefer right in the chest as they go to Jesse Chafin, incomplete pass, and now a flag comes out of the backfield, and it looks like they're going to call pass interference on Pikeville. Grabbed the jersey, did Matt Sexton.
Well, that will be an automatic, well, not an automatic first down, but in this particular instance, a first down. Pikeville faithful don't like it, but on 4th down, once again, the quarterback, Schaefer, makes something positive happen. Really wasn't much there, Brian, and he got, as you mentioned, he got drilled.
When you can see somebody's shoulders cave in and chest caves in and their head just snap, wow. First Gibson, then Sullivan just drills him in the backfield.
Forward pass interference on the defense. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Well, you got to love the way he pops back up after every hit, though, you know?
That takes guts. Schaefer now with 1st and 10 of the 25 in the shotgun. It's Brenton Hamilton. He plows his way ahead for several yards.
First decent rushing play of this second half for Prestonsburg, really, where they had good blocking point of attack. And
a pickup of 7 to 8 yards. So Hamilton gets something going at 2:15 now. Prestonsburg once again deep in Pikeville territory. Trying to find some positive ammunition instead of turning it on themselves. They've turned every good situation bad right now. Schaefer keeps it, goes nowhere, brought down quickly, and once again, Sullivan delivers the blow.
You talked about how impressive that kid is, and here in the shadow of his own goalpost, comes up with a critical second down play. Prestonsburg really hadn't had much success on first down. You saw him actually have some success on first down. Well, look out for second down. You see the ball fake there, and hello, only a quick beat.
It's a good thing that Blackburn didn't get it or check that because, well, Hamilton didn't get it. Here we are. It's a jump ball. Incomplete pass. Billy Hicks, intended receiver. Ryan Maynard would have delivered a blow to Hamilton also.
Well, you're looking at a nice play out there by Walls to knock it away. Senior defensive back sets up fourth down for Prestonsburg and line the gain for the first down just inside the 15. And this Schaefer kid showing a lot of guts, a lot of heart in this third quarter.
Big possession here for Prestonsburg. 4th and 6. Schaefer in the shotgun. Looking to throw across the middle. Is it picked off? It sure was awfully close.
Caught.
Wow, was it caught?
It's caught.
John Mark Stevens with the catch of the day.
He looked like
first down. Wow, I didn't know that was close.
Well, it's right off the top of the grass, kind of like Big Chris Cessna on a fourth down play last evening with North Laurel. And Stevens hauls it in and gives the Black Cats life. How about these two big fourth down plays on this drive?
What a throw, what a catch. I thought that thing was incomplete or picked off. Schaefer now gives to Hamilton. Busts up the gut for about a yard, 2, 3 maybe. He crosses the 10-yard line. And so now with under a minute to play, Prestonsburg once again, this is the second time they've had it this close, Jim.
Yeah, and don't you think they have to come away with some points here?
Oh, they've got to have a touchdown, easily.
They've kind of got to have it here. I know that we've got an entire quarter to play, but Prestonsburg, not much to cheer about. And, you know, their last scrimmage against 4A Boone County, they pushed some points in there on them. So Pikeville doing a yeoman's job defensively.
2nd and 8. 17 seconds left. Schaefer, the quick hit out into the flat, incomplete pass.
That's a lateral.
That's
a lateral.
They're calling it a lateral, and they are going to lose yardage. They lose from the 10 all the way back to close to probably the 18 to 19-yard line. Man, oh man, oh man.
Don't know if that was a checked off play, but one of those situations where you kind of have your running back out in the flat, and that was just almost perfectly over top of his helmet, and that's kind of where your shoulder pads cause an impediment, and you just can't reach up and take it away.
Backs to both sides of Schaefer, and he will keep it. He looks, and he is going to be just taken down hard. Several in there. Sullivan is in there. We've got another cramp on the field. That will be the end of the third quarter as Prestonsburg, once they get its position, it's a bend but not break defense for Pikeville. We play 3. The Panthers lead at 14-0. We've got 12 minutes left here at the Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl. Back in just a few moments. Welcome back to the Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl presented by Food City. And right now, Chris McNamee's club leads 14-0. But at midfield right now, Hillard Howard being presented the Legends Award, presented by Virgil Osborne. Hillard Howard, a career record of 2-11 and 44. You don't get much better than that.
Let's see, he won 3 state titles here at Pikeville, so that's
and was an assistant coach in '91 when Coach Alaura took them to the finals in '91 and took Pikeville to the finals back in the '70s, and really did put Pikeville football on the map without question.
And you see there, it's and of course, you know, you get the community involved, the success builds on the success, and Hillard Howard, a great part of this Pikeville tradition.
So Hillard Howard standing at midfield on his own field, as it's named after him, and right now it's going into the 4th, and right now the MVP ballot's being shipped around to the media in the press box, and For those of you at home, pick your own. But it's kind of an easy selection for the Panthers right now. For Prestonsburg, you could take a choice of ball players. 2 MVPs will be honored after this ball game by the Pike County Bowl Committee. And who knows who it is for Prestonsburg? We have 12 minutes to decide it. Maybe the Black Cats can come up with something here.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Got a whole 4th quarter to play. And
there you see Hillard Howard, a legend of Eastern Kentucky and the state of Kentucky. And 211 and 44, 3 titles, 87, 88, 89.
Well, I love the cover of the Mountain Sports Leader. You know, he had 2002 with Coach Holcomb, 2003 with Coach Haywood, and who's going to be next from the mountain.
4th and 16, Schaefer delivers a strike across the middle, but it will not be enough for a first down. As who was the receiver? It was number 80, Kyle Ousley. So the Panthers short, or the Black Cats short, and the Panthers take over.
Well, you know, we had the statistics there. Didn't quite get the chance to get it to you, but Prestonsburg has the ball for over 6 minutes on that drive. They come away with nothing. Now, I'm the guy that said if they don't score, it's over, but hold it. They're down deep here. They bottle Pikeville down deep around the 5-yard line. They're going to have to either shut them down on 3 plays here or maybe even turn them over. Interesting play call here for Coach McNamee. Do you maybe try and throw it on first down?
And right up the chute is Weston Robinson. He is taken down after a pickup of a yard or 2. And
like
he is brought down.
Looks like maybe Stevens in there with the first hit. And boy, he's played a pretty good game for the Black Cats.
Stevens has played a nice ball game. Brandon Peters, number 4. He had that fumble recovery. He's had a nice ball game. You have to wonder about Trevor Compton, what his situation is right now. He had that knee. He left the game in the late in the second period with a knee injury and trying to scan the sidelines from, well, close to probably 75 yards away. It's kind of hard to see if he's even on the sidelines. Underneath, the Robinson takes a lick and stretches out to around the 10-yard line. Maybe a pickup of 2 or 3, maybe.
Once again,
Trevor Compton, I can see him sitting on the bench at the far end, in between the about the 42-yard line, and he's by himself. So obviously, it doesn't look like he will return to this ball game. And you have to think you don't want to risk the rest of the season for the as prestigious as this Pike County Bowl is. You don't want to risk the rest of the season and a shot at the regional championship, of course, and a shot maybe at a state championship. You just never know. 3rd and 7 from the 9 for Pikeville as Huffman brings up his Panthers in the I formation and a flag, and it's going to be a delay of game. So they will push the Panthers back.
Delay of game penalty.
Half the distance
prior
probably.
To the snap, expiration of the 25-second clock on the offense. Half the distance to the goal. 3rd down. The clock will start on the snap.
So now the ball is at the 3-yard line.
Yeah, Prestonsburg done a pretty good job of bottling him up. Don't think you'll see anything fancy here from Pikeville. They got the good punting game, remember.
And it's Weston Robinson who, oh boy, almost took it to the left side. But it is now obviously a 4th down punting situation for the Panthers. And here comes Jesse Parrish and company as Robinson picks up, about 4 yards on that play. 6 yards on that play, check that. And it's 10 minutes, almost to the 10-minute mark. And Prestonsburg, they will have Kyle Ousley and Joe Blackburn back to receive at about the Pikeville 43, now backing up to about the 45-yard line. Here's the rush. Not a big rush as the punt goes kind of off the side of his foot and now takes a huge bounce all the way back to the 44-yard line. Blackburn being chased, waits for some blockers, trying to outrun the defense, won't do it, and brought down from behind by Will Lockhart at the 45-yard line.
Tremendous exchange there, some 50 yards. The punt, rather the line of scrimmage around the 6-yard line, and now they'll drop back to the 45 of Prestonsburg. So that's what we talk about, special teams, and that's what we talk about. Boy, you have a good punter, you've got a weapon. And a lot of times other teams would maybe be back deep, only a couple of, maybe only able to generate 20 or 30 yards of field position change. That way sets up the short field. But Great job there by Pikeville to push Prestonsburg back.
Blackburn caught out of position, kind of in between whether to field it or let it bounce. Schaefer, he's caught in the clutches, and Brett Gibson knocks the pass down as Schaefer was being brought down in the backfield. Sullivan was back there also, Ryan Maynard putting the pressure on the defense, but Blackburn, if he catches that ball and goes straight down, he saves 25 yards. He lets it go, and we see what happens. It's either one of those things you have to come catch it or play behind the ball so it comes to you so you can save yardage. Field position has been a huge key to this ball game.
You know, sometimes you get caught with that when you only use a single safety. Prestonsburg used a double safety, yet unable to stop the ball from bouncing in the field position change.
Schaefer screen pass out to Oosley. He's got a blocker ahead of him. But John Mark Stevens bowls over Robinson. And now it's Oosley inside the 30-yard line. Great call by the Black Cats. A safe pass play that picks up huge yardage. That's a pickup of close to 26 yards on the play.
I tell you, Oosley looking like he had some of the speed that's somewhat lacking for Prestonsburg right now. It's kind of banged up a little bit.
The ball is resting at the 31-yard line, 1st and 10.
Okay, so let's take a look here.
Parrish limping here a little bit on the far side. Here's the replay.
Well, check this block out, Brian. You talked about it. If we see the pancake block, maybe a little bit of the pancake grab. But you see there maybe just getting the wind knocked out of him there.
Jesse Parrish, he's walking off the field right now with Coach McNamee. The whistle blew, so obviously has to sit out at least one play. Estill County and Belfry immediately following the conclusion of this ball game, plus about 30 minutes, of course, for in between trophy presentations and so forth. 9:21 left. Prestonsburg must score and score quickly so they get the ball back. It's Blackburn straight up the middle, and he is leveled by Ryan Maynard. The right shoulder met the rib cage, and the right shoulder wins most of the time.
Yeah.
That play picked up only one, and it looked promising at the start. Great penetration by the defensive line of Pikeville.
Well, you mentioned that, and that is exactly it. They've been able to get that push. The Prestonsburg offensive line unable to really push the Panthers off the ball.
Prestonsburg loaded to the right side. Top of your screen, 3 receivers. Stevens there in the slot, and they fake the handoff. It's up to Blackburn, and once again, the defense is there. 55. Will Lockhart, the junior linebacker, comes in to make the play.
This guy's staying in their gaps. That time, Prestonsburg tried a little bit of the misdirection, and guys staying at home, keeping their responsibilities, and Prestonsburg right now just seemingly in need of a big 3rd or 4th down play almost every time they get their hands on the ball. It seems like it's got to be 3rd and long.
Backs to either side of Schaefer. As he drops back to pass. Here comes some pressure, and the ball hits Stevens right in the hands, and he dropped it. Still would not have been enough for a 1st down. And now that brings up 4th down and 10 from the 31.
Well, certainly you have to go for it here. And, you know, Prestonsburg got some breaks. If you'll remember the pass interference call on 4th down a few of their last series. So let's see what happens here with 4th down. You got to love the way Schaefer has tried to battle and get something here.
Once again, shotgun, backs to both sides of him. Stevens across the middle. They're looking for a receiver, and he's going nowhere. The ball is loose. Pikeville recovers. Maynard recovers the fumble as Schaefer loses control, and Sullivan back there again. And if you're looking for the defensive MVP for the Pikeville Panthers, Josh Sullivan has really been a nuisance for Peaburg.
Yeah, you talk about the MVP mantle. A number of those fellas from the Panthers could.
Well, it's tough to pick just one.
Yeah, no question about that. And that time I couldn't really pick it up, but was it Sullivan that made the hit that forced the fumble?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. Pikeville now with time on their side as they give it to Shurtleff straight up the gut, maybe 2 yards.
Clock becoming a factor.
7:42 and counting. As Pikeville in total control now with the football close to midfield. Clock on their side.
Sure wouldn't have anticipated either one of these teams with the goose egg.
No, I know.
So just a great job by that Pikeville defense. Coach McNamee has his team hungry for victories.
So now you have to think, we talked about the Mountain top 5 last night, revealed Prestonsburg was number 4. Robinson, he gets to the outside on the pitch. He's got the first down and steps out of bounds across midfield, and it's a first down for the Panthers, and that's a big first down there. Even though the clock stops, it gives the Panthers a new set of 4 downs.
Great blocking downfield. As you see the fans there, they love it. Ryan Milam and I just in the corner of that press box, but that's our vantage point. But from whatever vantage point you have, it's all Pikeville Panthers here.
Last night on the Mountain top 5, Breathitt County number 1, Bell County 2, Belfry 3. We will get a look at them in a moment. Prestonsburg 4, Pulaski Southwestern 5. Seems to be the topic of conversation today about Southwestern. Robinson, he takes the topic of conversation to the outside again, and Dennis Hudson goes down big time. A late hit.
And it's on Dennis.
Goes down, and hopefully he's okay. He took a shot.
Well, he pounces right back up, and Tracy Hensley gave up the camera
He's
for a couple.
supposed to deliver the block for it. He didn't block for Dennis.
And Dennis just took the camera and went home.
I think the camera may be on the injured reserve list for the next 6 weeks.
They threw the flag.
He's got a replay. Let's check this out.
Man, we had Frank Belfing last year, and I got a feeling this one's going to be used over and over and over.
Yeah, this may make the plays of the week.
I got to believe it is.
Maybe the ESPN not so special plays of the week, maybe, I don't know. Here's the replay. Well, that's the replay from Ken Fugat's camera on the other
after
side.
After the play was over,
there it is.
and after
Good
the
shot.
first down was gained, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the succeeding spot. It's 1st and 10, Pikeville.
First down, Pikeville, but they lose about 25 yards of ground there after the big penalty. About 23 yards, somewhere in that vicinity. But hopefully Dennis is okay. Hopefully that camera's okay. Sometimes that's more important, you know.
There you go. Well done.
High formation once again. Pikeville with the power football game. Shurtleff met at the line of scrimmage quickly, and he was hit by Tyler Hamilton.
Hamilton's played a good game here this evening.
6'2", 310, a junior.
See, like I said, these former students, you know, I taught them when they were much younger. I'm glad I was good to those kids, okay? Because now when somebody's 6'2", 310, you want to be able to say, hey, wasn't too bad.
Chris McNamee deep in thought, his ball club ahead by 14. And obviously it's pretty simple what the, wow. The I formation again, but at the top of your screen, most of you may not have seen it. Matt's section was 4 yards, 3 to 4 yards past the line of scrimmage and had to dart back. I don't know if I've ever seen that type of offensive play before. I think you can use that in the indoor arena league, but not at the Pike County Bowl.
Or the Canadian League, you know. And Pikeville been pretty much in control with this one as we go inside 6 minutes to play. Prestonsburg going to have to try and turn them over here, get their hands on the ball, but quarterback Schaefer kind of been dealing against the stacked deck, Brian, because he's had guys all over him whenever he's tried to pass.
Now Huffman in the shotgun rolls to the left. He's going to keep it, and he's got nice yardage ahead of him. Dives for the sticks, and looks like he got the first down, marking the spot. And depending on which foot the referee marks the ball with, that is a first down. So Prestonsburg really, they forced the long yardage situation, and Pikeville comes up with a way to snuff them out. And that is getting a large round of applause from the Pikeville contingent here. And we're talking about that Mountaintop 5. Peaburg was 4.
Yeah.
That looks like that is in jeopardy. So now people, you know, you have to look at who won and who hasn't. And Pikeville looks impressive. South Laurel looks highly impressive.
South Laurel looks impressive.
Wow.
Team speed.
Dives ahead, does shirtlift for a couple.
I mean,
Reminded me a little bit by watching with that 99 South Laurel team, Neil Warren and company, James McClain and all those guys that just darted all over the field, took the Cardinals to the regional finals, lost to Tates Creek, I believe 44-38, something like that. Back when Tates Creek went to the state championship that year and fell to, hard to believe, another Louisville school. But nonetheless, South Laurel has to be involved in that, and who knows who else. Corbin, Rockcastle County, I-75 loaded with great teams.
Yeah.
Once again, under the eye. As Robinson dotted it, Shirtliff gets it and dives ahead right now. Just milking the clock is Pikeville, keeping the clock running.
Huge crowd on hand for this Pike County Bowl.
Oh, you're not kidding.
Take a look. It's fans.
It is wire. It is end to end. The bleachers probably start about the 20. Probably go from the maybe to the 15s on both sides of the field, and it is almost standing room only in the bleachers tonight. 3rd and 6 for Pikeville. Maybe trying to tack on one more play, or one more score rather. That would really seal things. And once again, it's Robinson, and he takes it. He is knocked down by John Mark Stevens. And a couple of other black hats, and another flag comes down. Unreal.
Yeah, that came from the back judge. I'm not sure. He must have.
He may have seen a face mask or something. Yeah, or a personal foul, maybe. Another one.
Yeah, looked like maybe we had
another personal foul on the Black Cats. And James DeRosset runs the defense, just takes the headset off and asks for an explanation, because this Prestonsburg, they have been mentally out of the game.
Yeah. Pikeville just too tough in this opening game of 2004. And
after the play was over, personal foul on the defense, 15-yard penalty. The distance results in a first down.
Prestonsburg just having a tough time maintaining the poise. Difficult to get things going here in this first game. We mentioned they're off next week, and then they've got Bell County in the Mountain Sports Leader Western Cold Bowl. So Bell County got a great squad this year.
Pikeville picked up 2 first downs on penalties, fumbles the football, does Weston Robinson, and Billy Hicks is there for the recovery.
Just bounces right to me. Hey,
right,
look what I found. And Black Cats with a little life.
So 2 first downs accredited to the Panthers by penalty, and then Prestonsburg forces the turnover. .337 left. Prestonsburg with the ball in their 15, 85 yards. They've got to score. They've got to come up with a score, but they need 2 of them. That's their problem right now. We've got an injured player on the far side of the field.
Couldn't actually pick up who that was, Brian, but they did have to stop play for that.
He is way back at the 4-yard or the 10-yard line, 10 to 11-yard line. He's just off to the upper left-hand side of your screen, kind of out of view right now. So we will, wow, we're waiting to see what exactly the extent of the injury is. If it's just a cramp, we can continue here in just a moment. If it's something serious, then we may be here for a few minutes. Hopefully it's just a cramp to whoever that player is on the far side of the field. Dennis Hudson, not the guy, thank goodness, who's down over there, but our camera is down on that side, so we will wait and see what that situation turns out to be.
I don't see Dennis
Kent
right
Fugit down on the field. Looks like he will be making his way back to the truck. Freddie takes the camera back on this side.
So we've had to switch our teammates
here.
We've
had to platoon people out of the truck.
We've had to switch our teammates due to the big hit.
So now here's Prestonsburg. They've got to go in a hurry. Schaefer flushed out of the pocket, throws incomplete, straight through the hands of Billy Hicks. He catches the fumble out of the air, misses that pass.
Well, I tell you, it just hasn't been fair to the quarterback Schaefer, has it? I mean, he hustles. They're all over him again, and he finds a receiver. He's open, and it just zings through.
Refuses to go down and has taken a lot of licks tonight.
He surely has.
Yeah, to be honest, I was really expecting this game to be in the upper 20s and not this low scoring of a contest. Schaefer hands off, and Blackburn is drilled. If that's Blackburn, yes, it is. Whoa.
you know.
Brett Gibson, number 5.
Kids.
You know, Chase Gibson, he gets a slap on the back. Ken Trivet down there on the sideline said, "That's your brother." He said, "So what?"
Yeah.
You know? I did that all the time down there.
Exactly.
Of course, Chase went on to Marshall. Unfortunately, had his career ended. Very bad knee injury, and just
freshman year too.
Yeah.
Right?
Once again, 3rd and long. Schaefer looking to make something happen. Goes downfield, connects with Blackburn. First down, Prestonsburg across the 30 to the 32.
You know, and if you've got that no-huddle offense, now's the time to use it, right? And in that first game that we did last evening, both Hazard and South Laurel using the no-huddle exclusively.
Right.
And, boy, that puts the pressure on the defense, you know, and it puts even more pressure on the broadcasters. I want to tell you, no huddles.
Schaefer again steps up in the pocket, flushed out of the pocket, decides to keep it, and he's got yardage. He's got Green in front of him, but brought down. Nice tackle in the open field by Chad Walls, but it's close to another first down. Let's see where the spot of the ball is. And it is a first down as the sticks move once again.
Well, yeah.
2:33 left, and Pikeville obviously not wanting to give up the big play. They'll give them that the soft coverage right now.
Of course, Prestonsburg, could they add a score here or tack on a score? Would be a lot to.
Schaefer, a wobbler, that could be picked off, and it is Weston Robinson with the interception, and he is lassoed down, just wrangled down there by Oosley, but that'll seal it pretty much. 2:17 left. Only a miracle can save the Black Cats now with 2:17.
Superb defensive effort. You know, they played so well as a unit, you almost could have given the MVP to the entire unit of the Pikeville Panther defense, because those kids stepped up. They came to play this evening. You talked about what a key it would be, and it certainly was.
6 turnovers for Prestonsburg tonight. Obviously, the tail of the tape, that and missed opportunities as Shirtliff bangs his way for about 7 more. And the Shirtliff family all in front of the booth here in front of us. So if you pick up the audio off our microphones and the cowbells and the air horns, I can tell you what family they're coming from. Of course, Ryan, another Shirtliff, up and coming in the Panther program, as we are under 2 minutes now and 1:47 and counting, and Pikeville can run out the clock if they can keep the first down drives going. Robinson will pick up the first down, and he kicks it to the outside and stays in bounds as he is brought down just before he reaches the 50-yard line by Carmen Maines.
You know, Brian, we want to get some feel-better wishes. I know one of Prestonsburg's all-time fans, Mr. Pig Goodman. I asked his boy, well, he said his name's Robert, but nobody knows him as that, you know. But Mr. Goodman not feeling so well, had some recent gallbladder surgery. We want to wish him the best. We know he hasn't enjoyed seeing his Black Cats getting it taken to him here on this Pike County
again. Crawls his way for about 5.
Man, you know, played with that shoulder separation,
Man,
did
that's
Shirtliff,
tough.
and just a lot of heart.
1 minute to go in the first game of this night session of the second day of this Community Trust Bank WYMT Pike County Bowl presented by Food City, as the Black Cat faithful now start to make their way to the exits, and they are replaced by the Belfry. The Angry Red is making its way to the bleachers, and we will have the trophy presentations and interviews coming up here in just a moment. With 39 seconds and a running clock, this will be more than likely the last play of the game. Shirtliff is brought down with 30 seconds, and by the time they spot the ball, this thing will be over. And Pikeville High School, they win it. They improve now to 10-9-1 all time in the Pike County Bowl histories. They win it tonight, 14-0. They are raising the roof at Hillard Howard Field. The last time they won, they beat Campbellsville on this field just a couple of years ago, and Robert Shirtliff, number 40, is sitting there near the 50 in tears pretty much. This last Pike County Bowl, he goes out a winner. The final, 14-0. We're back here in just a moment.
Check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Knott County Market President of Community Trust Bank will present the MVP trophy to
Check.
We're back at the Pike County Bowl. And Pikeville victorious here, 14-0 over Prestonsburg. And our Brian Milam is handing out some of the trophies for the conclusion here of this first game. Pikeville winning at 14-0, the first shutout for Pikeville in a long time in the Pike County Bowl. They shut out Newport Catholic back in 1988, 37-0, run their record to 10 wins, 9 losses, and 1 suspended game here in the Pike County Bowl. We're going to try to get an interview and give Brian just a few moments to get lined up here, and then we'll see if he can't perhaps get either the victorious coach or perhaps one of the MVPs. It'll take just a moment for those things to occur. You see the players lining up and shaking hands. Prestonsburg Black Cat coaches, and you see Coach McNamee and others there shaking hands. The show of sportsmanship, you got to love that. And Pikeville just too much for Prestonsburg. We had them with some 6 turnovers, and that was critical here this evening. Brian Milam is getting Robert Shurtleff. We talked about Shurtleff. He played this evening with a slight shoulder separation. He will be the MVP for Pikeville. And if we're ready, I'll just go ahead and send it on down to Brian Milam.
Over here.
And he's getting his microphone.
Welcome back here to the Hillard Howard Field at Pikeville High School. The Pikeville Panthers defeat Prestonsburg the final 14-0. We have our game MVP, and to deliver this trophy as we pan here to the right, we've got Tim Collins here from the folks from Food City, and he will present this trophy to Robert Shurtleff.
Congratulations. Thank you. Good game.
Some heavy hardware, and Robert, tell me about this game. Pretty physical from the get-go.
Oh, yeah. You know, not a lot of people had confidence in us except our faithful few, and, we just came out and proved them everybody else wrong.
Pretty emotional game, I know. You're a senior, you want to get that last win at the Pike County Bowl. Tell me what this win does for you guys for, the next couple of weeks.
Well, last year we started off pretty slow, and maybe this can get us going early and put us right in the playoffs.
Last thing, you have Rockcastle County coming up now, and Prestonsburg, a great ball club. Rock, what do you expect out of the Rock?
Well, Rock, very physical. We got a week to prepare, 2 weeks to prepare for them, so we should be all right.
Well, congratulations, Robert. You guys are the Pike County Bowl champions for this first game of 2004 as they defeat the Black Cats 14-0. Jim, I'll send it back up to you, and then in a moment we'll come back down here and do a couple of interviews with the Food City guys. Back to you.
Okay, great job, Brian. We're going to take a break.
Final score of game 1, 14-0. There we go.
Yeah.
14-0, Pikeville, Prestonsburg, as the Black Cats go down to defeat. Let's take a look at the second half stats. And pretty much this game one-sided, Jim.
Yeah, no question about that. Boy, on the score, right? No points for Prestonsburg. Who would have guessed that? First downs, pretty much even there. And I guess you really wouldn't know which one's Prestonsburg, right? But until you catch the 0. But how about the yards rushing? Would you have figured 243 to 21?
Unbelievable. And you look at, yards rushing, yards passing. You had, a big discrepancy in the yardage. Obviously, the turnovers just destroyed Prestonsburg, but even more than the turnovers, the penalties.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, and more not physical mistakes, but mental mistakes.
Right, and of course, early in the season, both teams, as a fact, have an open date next week. So you got to believe that practice is going to be coming pretty quick for those Prestonsburg Black Cats, as, of course, you see there the Belfry coaching staff and guys getting ready to get this second game underway here in a little over 10 minutes. And Estill County Engineers and the Belfry Pirates should be a great one, but in the first one, it was all Pikeville Panthers.
So Pikeville, obviously now, first game of the year, they are 1-0. Prestonsburg 0-1. Up next for Pikeville, the Rockcastle County Rockets. And that will be a huge test and see what Pikeville has. And obviously, as Chase Gibson, as I saw him on the field, he said, how about that Mountaintop 5? So now he's even getting in on us. So
right.
I tell you, the Mountaintop 5 is one of the, I guess, one of the highlights of sports overtime, and you never would have thought it, but it is, and certainly up for debate. So now all you folks on the BGP can put it up. Pikeville now enters the mix. So we're going to take a break, come back, and get you ready for this second ball game. We're still about 11 minutes away from kickoff as the Estill County Engineers make the long trip from Irvine, Kentucky to play the defending state champion Belfry Pirates.